Hi CK staff, I'm going to show you how to insert a video into Google Forms. So we know that watching a video can be a very passive activity, and if we want to make it more active, we know that using Google Forms and YouTube can make it so that students have to respond to what it is they've seen, and we can collect that feedback immediately. Whether it be their understanding or whether it be their opinion, knowing that they're going to watch and have an expectation to respond directly to the teacher right away is a good thing. So how we do that? There's always more than one way, it seems, with Google to do anything. I'm in the old version of Google Forms. I can go to Insert, and I can go down to Video and put a video in. The other way, which I think is a little bit easier, is as you're building your form, I always put first name and last name as my first two things. When I go to Add Item, I simply click on that triangle, and then I find Video. Now, let's say I want to do a video on ionic bonding. So I type that in, and here I have some videos that come up on ionic bonding. Now I want to make sure I've watched the video, so this might not be the best place. You might already know what video. Let's say I've watched this video. Here's my ionic bonding video, and I click select. Now once the video is there, I can give it a title. I can give it a caption if I want to have the kids look for something in particular or try to identify a thing that I want them to have some forethought about before we get started. I could do that there with the caption. Then, if I want to make the video bigger, I click on it and I can drag the triangles to make the video bigger. And I can decide whether the video needs to be centered or left or right justified. I'm going to go with centered and right about that size and click done. Now, after that, I can just simply add another item. Let's say I'm going to add a paragraph text because I want them to summarize ionic bonding in 3 sentences or less. And then I can give them some help text. Here's their paragraph, and then I click done. I can now then go back in. I can add multiple choice, a grid, all that kind of stuff. Students will be able to watch this video and then provide the feedback, and I can gauge their understanding from that. Now this is in the old version of Google Forms. If I'm in the new version of Google Forms, it just looks a little bit different. So here's the new version of Google Forms. I would give my form, gives my form a title. If I want to insert a video, unlike before where I just had the add button there, what I'm going to do is I add items over to the side here. So this one that actually looks like the YouTube icon is the one add a video. So I click add video. It comes up. I can either put in the URL or search for it, and I can do more about ionic bonding. Maybe I want them to compare the two, of which I've watched both. So you actually can watch the video right within this preview screen here if you wanted to make sure it was something that was appropriate for students. So I hit select. Now notice because I was at the top of the document, it put my video at the top, but I can move it down to where I want just by dragging and dropping. I can move it around and then get it in there, and then I can go through and add the questions I want to add. I can add multiple choice, any of those kinds. Notice in the new Google Forms, I go here to decide what type of answer I want the students to be able to give. Hope this helps give you an idea of how you could use YouTube combined with Google Forms and collect student information, keep them on task when watching a video. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask Christine Franson or Brandy Snow, your future Ready Learning coaches.